For fuck's sake Google, I do not want to use my real name on YouTube. You do not have to ask me again later, since I will answer no, just like the last 50 times. Thank you. Response 1.
Quote, throw that in your filters on AdBlock. Haven't seen it since.
Also, add to block annotations.
Or go to your settings and select Disable Annotations by default.
If you have a YouTube account and always stay logged into it when just watching videos, yes.
What situation are you in where you can run ABP but not stay logged into YT?
Well, I have a Google account but don't use YouTube enough to care about any of the stuff you need to sign in to YouTube for. And, although probably silly and a fruitless attempt anyway, I don't want my YouTube watching history tracked and linked to my Google account.
My business was invited to beta test Google Helpouts. During the sign-up process it wanted a Google account, so I created a throwaway address on our domain, and then it also insisted on a Google Plus account. At that point I stopped the sign-up process and sent them feedback re the dangers of mixing social networks and business clients. Just to be clear here, I was no longer signed in to that, or any Google account. Later that day, I followed some YouTube links from Reddit, and then started receiving YouTube spam in the throwaway email address, suggesting videos related to ones I had watched from Reddit links. At the bottom of each email it said that I had indicated that I was okay with receiving them, even though I didn't set up a Google Plus account, let alone go through any YouTube settings. Google's gotten really damn creepy.
Response 2.
Remember when YouTube specifically told you not to give your personal information to anyone?
Superconductive Rabbi remembers.
Do people think to take these screenshots all the time in case they need to make a picture like this years later?
This going to sit in a deep dark corner of your pics folder, gathering virtual dust for decades until, one day, the absolutely most perfect moment will occur for you to post this image in its utmost relevant glory, and karma shalt thou reap.
You're not helping his problem.
Response 3.
And while we're at it, fuck you Facebook, I want to sort by most recent every fucking time please.
And Twitter, you too. If I search for something because I think something's going on, I don't give a fuck about your multiple hours old, relevant tweets.
Another thing, Little Debbie, your snack cakes have been getting smaller while the price has gone up. I'm onto you.
Also, when I order fajitas, no restaurant ever gives me enough tortillas.
And hey, sneaker manufacturers, why must I lace up every pair before I try them on in the store?
And why isn't there a plural form of platypus? What if I'm referring to more than one platypus?
And what's the deal with airline food? Why don't they just make the airplane out of the airline food?
Response 4.
Google is supposed to be amazing web designers or some shit, but I swear, since they've bought YouTube they have done absolutely nothing that I like and a lot of things I don't.
As someone in the biz, Google has never had amazing web designers, not to say that there weren't any good ones there, just that they didn't not have a reputation in the industry for good design, they just never considered it a big issue, and if you look at their legacy apps, Analytics, Reader, the old Gmail, Groups, etc., you can see that functional but not pretty aesthetic. They have recently started taking on some good people and it shows in their newer stuff, plus, the new Gmail, images, etc., but they're still playing catch up. YouTube is another thing though. Since they are a subsidiary you have to assume some of the older YouTubers or whatever they're called are still there, but were being forced into Google styles and patterns so it got weird. Now Google is looking for a fair amount of design talent for YouTube. I've seen several postings in the last few months for jobs from senior UX designers all the way to head of design. Clearly they can see there's a problem. The issue here though is less design and more, we want to track you everywhere. YT generates a ton of traffic and they want to connect those metrics to other things they know about you, but can't make that link till you say, okay, EULAs are good for something. It won't be optional for long I bet though, soon it'll probably be some privacy policy update and you'll be forced into it. TLDR someone at Google knows it sucks, they're looking for new people, hopefully it'll get fixed. The login shit is pure evil tracking and there's nothing you can do.
Regardless of who gets hired, they never listen to the YouTube community, and it pisses me the fuck off. The only thing that catches their attention is the increasing frequency of the clicks on their site.
Maybe we should all do rapid clicks and closes on every Google ad we see, which would then be charged to the companies buying those clicks, who would soon rebel at the worthless clicks and run away from Google? I'm just saying.
Interesting, but I'd hate to cost potentially good people and their businesses harm just to get Google.
It would initially. Didn't you see those 0.08 checks going out of this week? I got one of those myself. It was a refund for fraudulent clicks. It would literally take a bazillion clicks before anyone noticed though.
Response 5.
Facebook wants my phone number, YouTube your real name, and Xbox wants 2 emails and a credit card. But whenever I say these things are unnecessary for these services, especially because they all used to exist and function without all this information, people just call me an old man.
Privacy is for party officials only. Double plus good.
Indeed.
Response 6.
As someone who uses pseudonyms but tries to be kind and polite on the internet, okay, maybe I sometimes post lay speculation in science threads or go off a bit on tangents, but my intentions are good. I'm sick to death of a related phenomenon, which is the push to get people to use their real names all the time on the web. College kids, people with government jobs, retirees, and people who only post about gardening can use their real names. People who have real jobs and volunteer jobs with respectable soccer moms at the charter school and want to burble on about UFOs, or what exactly makes the adventures of Merlin seem way more amazing than it deserved to be, or to create weird attempts at animation humor, need to use pseudonyms. Not because we're starting flame wars, but because our fan interests and our efforts to construct conventional lives don't mix. Edit, typo fix.
College, well, university, but fuck you whatever kid here, I would not use my real name on the internet, ever. At all. I can see literally no benefit to this, and only downsides. But then again, I had this shit figured out years ago, so if they ever force me to put a real name down it'll be D, or Taco Rocco. Fuck you Google.
Quote, fuck you Google.
How did you find me?
Well, you're right there.
Response 7.
Maybe we can just keep submitting bug reports. YouTube won't remember my preference about saying no when it asks me to change to my name.
Invasive and annoying script that pops up seemingly randomly. It has caused me to seriously consider discontinuing use of the service. Please allocate funds and man-hours to hunt down and exterminate the bothersome script. I do not want to use my real name.
Response 8.
It asks me over and over. Also, the top charts for most viewed by day, week, month is missing or moved where I can't find it. It's like Google wants me to use less YouTube.
I didn't even know top charts existed. Just goes to show you how bad a user experience YouTube is.
I can only find them on mobile, which is an infinitely better experience when using the third-party client.
Yes, I too have noticed how load times in these party clients have gotten gradually worse since they introduced their own YouTube iOS client. It might be a coincidence, but Alien Blue often takes in excess of 30 seconds to start a YouTube video these days.
Response 9.
God, this is infuriating. Someone needs to make a browser script that automatically clicks no.
Then they'll change the logic. Do you not want to not use your real name? It's literally an extra, in an if statement somewhere on a Google server.
Just the one?
Google's so efficient they only use one server.
Response 10.
YouTube is one of the first sites to drive me away with redesigns and bullshit like this. I put up with the ads, but it got to the point where it was no longer easy to use. I used to subscribe and watch a bunch of channels, but it wasn't worth it anymore.
I deleted my YouTube account because of this. As far as I know, it doesn't matter because I still have Gmail and therefore still have a Google profile, so when I'm on YouTube I just see my email address in the top right corner instead of my old username. I guess that is better than having it all linked together through Google Plus though, but it's a default YouTube account that I can't delete when I was hoping to not have an account at all. I think extricating myself from Gmail and deleting my Google profile is the only option, but since I am in the midst of a job hunt at the moment that wouldn't be prudent. Not gonna do it.
Response 11.
What is going on with Google? They were supposed to be a benevolent company, but they are doing really creepy invasive things.
They remember their old motto. Don't be evil.
Day has been adopted by r Circlejerk and I always read it that way.